Hello students. In our last video, we had studied about the manner of election of the President of India. In our today's video, we will study the reason for the indirect election of the President of India. So first reason. If the President was to be elected directly by the people, he could become a rival. Rival means opposition. So the President could become a rival center of power to the Council of Ministers. So if the President of India is directly elected, he could become a rival power to the Council of Ministers. Council of Ministers like the Cabinet Ministers, Ministers of State and the Deputy Ministers. And this would be against the parliamentary system with ministerial responsibility. As Jawaharlal Nehru said in the Constituent Assembly, we could not have a directly elected president and not give him real powers. You can underline the three lines. So according to Jawaharlal Nehru, if we elect the president directly, that is, the president is directly chosen by the people, we have to give him real powers. But as the president is indirectly elected by the Electoral College, the real powers are vested in the hands of Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers. So we can say that President is only the nominal head of state. Second, since the membership in the two houses of Parliament was likely to be dominated by one party, election of President merely by a majority of members of the Union Parliament could make him a nominee of the ruling party like the Prime Minister. So remember girls, the strength of the Lok Sabha is 552 and that of Rajya Sabha is 250. So the membership in the Parliament, it is dominated by the Lok Sabha with 552 members. So election of the President merely by a majority of members of the Union Parliament could make the President a nominee of the ruling party like the Prime Minister. And such a President could not represent the constituent states of the Union. Now next point. The President is elected by an electoral college. Underline these lines. The President is elected by the Electoral College. In India, the Electoral College consists of the elected members of the two houses, that is Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, and legislative assemblies of the states, which is given in Article 54 of Indian Constitution. And such an Electoral College would make the President the elected representative of the whole nation with a clear voice given to the states as well. Now next we have oath of office. Before entering upon his office, the President has to take an oath in the presence of the Chief Justice of India. And in case if the Chief Justice of India is not present, the President has to take oath in the presence of the senior most judge of the Supreme Court. And at present, the Chief Justice of India is Sharad Arvind Bobde. And the oath of office is taken to first discharge the functions of the President of India, discharge or to carry out the functions of the President of India. Second, preserve, protect and defend the Constitution and the law. And lastly, to devote himself to the service and well-being of the people of India. So these are the three oaths which a President of India has to take before he takes over his office. Next we have term. Term or the duration of office. You can underline the first three lines. The President shall hold office for a term or a time period of 5 years from the date on which he enters upon the office. He shall continue to hold office notwithstanding the expiry of his term until his successor or the new President takes charge. Next. Vacation of office. The President may submit his resignation letter to the Vice President in order to resign his office. such resignation will be communicated by the Vice President to the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. So the office of President, okay, it can be vacated only in two situations. First, when the President himself, he does not wish to continue with the service and he wishes to resign. So he can do so by submitting his resignation to the Vice President, who communicates the same to the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. Second, the President may, for the violation of Constitution, be removed from the office by the process of impeachment. So when the President is found guilty of violation of the Constitution, he can be removed from the office by the process of impeachment. So these are the two situations in which the President can be removed or he can vacate his office. Now next we have procedure for impeachment of the President. First point, when a President is to be impeached for violation of the Constitution, either House of Parliament, either House, Lok Sabha or the Rajya Sabha, can level the charge as follows. Level the charge here refers to place a charge or to accuse. So they can level the charge as follows. First, resolution which is moved after at least 14 days notice in writing, and it should be signed by not less than 1/4 of the total number of members of the House.